You know, we all remember those school drills, right? Fire drills, earthquake drills, lockdown drills. But what happens when the practice suddenly becomes the real thing? Today, we're diving into 3 true, absolutely terrifying accounts of school lockdowns, where the threat was no drill at all. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's a Friday afternoon. You can almost taste the weekend. We're talking 7th period, the very last class before spring break. You know that feeling? Everyone's just buzzing, ready to get out of there. The teacher is super laid back, even throws a fun online quiz up on the screen for everyone. The vibe is just relaxed, casual. The finish line is so close. And just like that, in an instant, the ordinary completely shatters. That familiar, safe classroom is about to turn into a place of absolute terror. So, let's get right into our first account. It all starts in that same calculus class, just minutes before the bell was supposed to ring. All of a sudden, the dean's voice blasts over the loudspeaker. But it's not his normal, calm tone. No, this is different. He sounds frantic, panicked, and that alone sends a wave of ice through the room. The teacher, who was so relaxed a second ago, literally bolts to the door, slams it shut, and kills the lights, confirming everyone's single worst fear. They do exactly what they've practiced, huddled together in a dark corner of the room. But then, something happens that was never part of the drill. The low hum of the building's electricity just stops. Total silence. The school cut the power, and with that, any tiny sliver of doubt that this was real was just gone. The silence is shattered by a man screaming out in the hallway. The voice gets closer, and then a loud metallic banging starts as he just starts hitting the lockers, one by one by one, screaming over and over that he's gonna kill all of them. In the classroom, 2 girls just start sobbing. The fear is completely overwhelming. And then, the moment of pure, absolute dread. The banging stops right at their door. He's right outside, trying the handle, pounding on the wood, and screaming, "Open up!" For what feels like an eternity, the only thing between them and this raging voice is one locked wooden door. Finally, he moves on. The dean comes back on the speaker and says a mentally unstable man had assaulted the staff and gotten into the school, but they couldn't find him. Now here's the really chilling part. A janitor later finds the guy sleeping in a storage closet. A rumor starts flying that he had a .44 Magnum on him, but by the time the police got there, he'd vanished, just gone. They never found him. All right, our next story shows that the threat doesn't even have to be inside the building to turn a school into a prison. Sometimes the danger is hiding in plain sight, literally right across the street. So picture this. It's a rainy day in October. You're a middle schooler out in the yard for lunch, and suddenly, 4 massive booms echo across the yard. Most of the kids just think it's thunder, but the security guards, they know better. They start screaming, forcing everyone to get inside now. Everyone is herded into the multi-purpose room. The staff is frantically pulling curtains over these huge glass windows. And then the truth comes out. A mentally unstable man, who's also a registered sex offender, has barricaded himself inside his house, which is directly in front of the school, and he's threatening to kill the police. And yeah, he'd been seen watching the kids from his window before, but the threat was even closer than anyone realized. One of the students spoke up and shared this horrifying story. Just the Halloween before, their friend, who was the man's next-door neighbor, saw that exact message written on the guy's window. "Don't come here or I'll kill you." And he had written it in his own blood. Everybody just dismissed it as some sick, twisted Halloween decoration. It wasn't. Okay, so for our final account, the danger isn't down the hall or across the street, it's in the room with you. This story comes from a 22-year-old intern who found himself hiding with the very person who caused the entire lockdown. So he's all by himself in this messy little basement office when the lockdown call happens. And his situation is bad, really bad. His office doesn't have a door, and the main lock for the entire basement is busted. He is completely, totally exposed. He does the only thing he can, turns off the lights, and dives under his desk. For 20 long minutes, there is nothing but silence. And then, the loud creak of the basement door echoes through the empty space. He hears footsteps coming down the stairs, and they're heading straight for his office. As he's hiding under the desk, his phone dings with a text message. He just freezes, clenching his teeth as the footsteps get closer and closer. Convinced he's been found, the intern scrambles out from under the desk, basically begging for his life. But a man in a red plaid shirt and a cap just grabs his arm and tells him it's okay, that he's a parent and someone told him to hide down here. The guy seems calm, just another person caught up in the chaos. After this weird, brief exchange, the intern looks down at his phone to finally read the text he got just moments before. It's from his coworker, Dave. And as he reads the words, his blood runs cold. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and hat. He slowly looks up from his phone and stares at the man in the red plaid shirt and reddish-black cap standing just a few feet away. And in that one gut-wrenching, heart-stopping moment, he realizes he is not hiding from the shooter. He is hiding with him. He just bolts. A gunshot rings out, and a bullet whines as it ricochets off metal somewhere in the dark. So, these events, they didn't just end. They left these permanent scars. These aren't just stories people tell. These were moments that changed lives forever. So let's just quickly recap these three totally different scenarios. First, you have the unseen threat, a voice and violence behind a door, basically a ghost who is never caught. The second, a known danger right next door, a man whose very real threats were brushed off as a sick joke. And the third, well, the most terrifyingly direct scenario imaginable, coming face to face with an active shooter. All three of them survived, yes, but surviving doesn't mean you're okay. The real common thread here, the real takeaway, is that psychological echo. It's that permanent loss of safety. It's the knowledge that a school, a place of learning, can instantly become a trap. It's the sound of a gunshot in a dark basement that, as the narrator put it, will echo in his mind forever. And really, that brings us to the final unsettling question. These are just three stories that people decided to share online. And it just makes you wonder, for every single story we hear, how many countless others are just carried in silence? A private, terrifying memory of a day when the lockdown drill was very, very real.